I'm here in Medjugorje in front of St. James Church, and I'm with, what's your name?
Anne.
Where are you from?
I'm from Bolton,
Okay.
near
Ireland.
Manchester in England.
Manchester in England. But you're originally from Ireland, is that correct?
All my grandparents and ancestors are Irish.
Wow,
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
You live in Manchester.
I do, yeah.
Wonderful. And how often have you been in Medjugorje?
This is I've lost count now. I think this is about 8th or 9th time that I've been here to Medjugorje.
Wow. When did you hear the first time about Medjugorje in your life?
The first time I heard about Medjugorje was just before I got married.
And what do you
which
think?
is nearly 50 years ago now.
Yeah. Wow.
Actually, I heard about it in London. We were living in London at the time, just planning our honeymoon, which was then Yugoslavia here.
Really?
Yeah. And I saw in the newspaper that some children had had visions of Our Lady. And I said, I wonder if that's anywhere near where we're going for our honeymoon. And then it went completely out of my mind after that, and I never heard anything again until my son was 13 years old. And I'd just been reading on the internet, quite by chance, reading about Medjugorje, and I thought, I hadn't realised, because it's not well publicised, most of the world don't know that Our Lady's still appearing, that Our Lady was still appearing in Medjugorje. And I started to read all about it and about the messages and what it was all about, and thought that one day I would love to go there. And then the following week I went to church because I was a daily mass goer, still am, thank God. And the cleaner, the priest's housekeeper, was not a parish, she was not one of our parishioners, she was from another parish. And so I wasn't familiar with her at all. And she came up to me in church specifically and just said to me, I wonder, we're actually going on a pilgrimage, she said, and we've got 2 spaces and we just need to fill them, and I wondered if you'd be interested in going. I said, where are you going to? Because most of the churches at that time were only doing sort of Lourdes and Fatima. And she said, we're going to Medjugorje. Oh, and also I'd read that Our Lady had said that you don't come by chance, it's only by her invitation. And I was just so stunned that she'd said, it was about 2 weeks since I'd read about it. Of course I was interested. I would rather be I would love to go there. My problem was I had a 13-year-old son that I couldn't even get to Mass on a Sunday. He'd started secondary school, and religion was not cool at that point. And my oldest son was away at university. So I said, when is it? So when she gave me the date, I said, it's half-term holidays, I can't come, because I'll need to look after my son, and my husband's working. So I said, let me have a word with him and see if he'll come. And he's always been very curious, Richard, my youngest son, about religion, usually asking me a lot of questions about religion and so on. So I told him that this lady had asked me if we could go on this pilgrimage and where Our Lady was appearing, and he said, is she still appearing there? So I gave him a brief explanation about Medjugorje, and he said, I said, I'd love to go, Richard, please come with me. He said, if I come with you, he said, would I see her? I said, well, some people see her, I can't tell you that, some people see her, but, it could happen. He said, okay, I'll come. So I was so pleased. So the next morning I said, right, book 2 places, we're going to go to Medjugorje. And the church that was going, I wasn't familiar with this particular church, but she gave me the instructions to go and meet a minibus that was collecting everyone. So when we got onto the minibus, there was a priest there, a very special priest called Father Tanzi, who actually celebrated his Diamond Jubilee yesterday. So I prayed for him on the mountain here. Yeah. And immediately looked at Richard and said to him, well, you look like trouble. And Richard was me, Father. He said, yes. He said, do you play cards? He said, yes. He said, come and sit beside me. My son never left that priest alone for the whole week. He followed him everywhere. he was a great inspiration for him, and even now he still keeps in touch with him, and he's now 34, you know.
Wow.
And so he came, and he encouraged him to join in with all the devotions, with the Divine Mercy, with the Station of the Cross, Richard doing readings and so on, so he felt that he was getting something from it. And so he actually went to confession, and we queued up. At that time there weren't a lot of confessions here. There was still a lot of tobacco fields, you know, it was sort of at the early stages, yeah, not very many. In fact, I don't think there were any hotels, they were just the little pensions.
How did you get here? Did you go to Italy and come with the boat?
No, we came, we flew to Split, and we came by coach through the mountains before the motorway,
Okay.
And that was a bit hair-raising.
Okay.
And then we queued at the confessions at the side. It was quite a long queue then. And I thought, oh, this is good, Richard going to confession. So he went in, he was in such a long time. I thought, well, you know, he must be cleansing his soul. When he came out, he said, you know, this priest was wonderful. He told me all about the Medjugorje visionaries and all of what the miracles that have happened here, and so on. So I was quite happy that he'd come. Oh, before he agreed to come, I said, Richard, I promise you, come with me to this trip. And I said, just stay for 3 days. If after 3 days you really don't like it, I promise you I'll take you either to Split or to Dubrovnik, and we'll stay in a hotel by the sea and just join the route to fly back. So he agreed. So we'd been here a week. He'd not said he wanted to leave, and he was going to Mass twice a day. He was listening to the visionaries' talks. He was listening to all the stories of all the miracles, people who'd been healed, Our Lady's messages. And so the night before we were travelling back, I just said to him, I bet you'll be glad to go home tomorrow, won't you, Richard? He said, no, Mum. He said, I don't want to go home because I feel like I can't commit a sin here. And you know, and that really, I thought that was really special for somebody who'd never been to church before we arrived here, you know. And consequently he's still, you know, sort of going to church. When he went to university he slackened off, but he's gone back to his faith. So I knew that Our Lady had some special intentions for him. My older son, several times I've asked him to come back, because my younger son, he's been with my husband twice since then. And I once booked for my older son to come, but he failed an exam and wasn't able to come because he had to resit his exam. And so I felt at that time maybe Our Lady doesn't want him here just yet. However, we've arrived again, and this time, because of some problems that Michael had been having, he happened to have some holidays from work, and I just said, right, I'm going to Medjugorje, Michael. I've been asking him for years even to come to the youth festival. Not interested. You go, Mum, enjoy yourself, you know. And I said, why don't you come with me? And within half an hour he'd booked the flight and he booked a hotel, and he's here, and he's telling one of the guests here, you know, that it's really not long enough for him to be here for a week. So I know that he's having some special graces from that. But for me to keep coming back, I feel like I'm coming home. You feel that you can express your faith freely. There's so much peace here. Everybody's praying, everybody's of the same mind, everybody believes in the same thing, or even if they don't, they certainly do by the time they're going back. I'm sure of that with what's happened with my son. And there's just so many things, stories that you hear from people, what experiences they've had. And I think Our Lady always gives you a present when you come. There's always something that you go back with. You might not realise it whilst you're here, but when you go back. And as you said before, I think it is that you spread these messages, you talk to other people, they'll say, where's Medjugorje? Never heard of it, you know, and that's your opportunity to sort of, like people that I work with, I'll say, oh, I'm going on a pilgrimage. Oh, where? What's a pilgrimage? Because when they're secular, you know, they don't understand. So I say it's a religious retreat, really. Oh, where are you going? Medjugorje. Where's that? Bosnia. Bosnia? Why would you want to go to Bosnia? I said, it's beautiful. And then that gives me the opportunity to talk about it. And I said, you know, whether you believe it or not, when you go there, you will feel that there's something very special, something very different, and it recharges your batteries, you know, for when you're coming back. And so basically that's why I keep coming. I've been several times alone because I feel that the first 3 or 4 times I came with the church group, with the guides and so on, but there's only so many times you can hear about what's happening, and because I feel now that I'd like to do my own programme, be free to go up to Cross the Mountain or Apparition Hill when I want to do, or just join in with, there's always somebody here, and when you come by yourself you feel like you've come home. There's always somebody to talk to. I would never ever dream in my life to go anywhere. I won't even go in a restaurant by myself at home or a cafe or anything like that. I'm not the type of person to do anything by myself. But here, as I said, it's like coming home. I'm going to see my mum, and everybody here, wherever you are, there's always somebody who will talk to you. Oh, you're sitting alone, come and sit here, have a chat with us. And you just, as I said, you learn so many things, you meet so many different people. I've got so many different contacts from all over the world that I've met here, and yeah, it's lovely. And you should try it.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you so much.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for this beautiful interview.